A wonderful good morning, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Well, we're mostly playing Grixis Control in Modern, as we are gonna do today as well. And I already got the cards. There's not gonna be much changes since last Friday, because we 5-0 the league, right? And I was pretty happy with everything. The only difference here is that no, that's fine. Let's head on and jump into the league. Beautiful. I think it's a keepable hand. We lack removal, but being on the play, having a nimble obstructionist and logic knot to maybe buy us a turn or two is decent enough for a keep. Alright. So let's see. We could of course just kill the bird here, but terminate is a little bit too powerful for me to just wanting to kill a bird. And we also have the logic knot. So let's see if he's playing a 3-drop. Then we can still counter it with the logic knot, and if he just plays a 2-drop, then we still have the option of terminating here. Yeah, we sadly cannot counter this. That we are terminating the bird now mostly is caused by him having so much mana that logic knot's not really effectively usable anymore if we don't do anything against this menace. But Liliana, the last hope, certainly a very good draw there, and easily our best play. I'm still not sure what our opponent's up to. He played 2 Misty Rainforests, has a Pendelhaven. Oh, we're playing against Infect. Ah, alright. The bird was interesting to say the least. Alright. Opponent just giving it up here. Yeah, so turn 1 bird, certainly not something that's very common for a common infect list that is blue-green, but maybe the black-green list is playing birds as well, just in order to get access to black. Alright, so we want to have the spell snare here, we want to have this spell, Fatal Push and Collective Brutality. Is it Steadycaster? Scorpion God is actually also not bad. Let's see. Jace one can be thrown out. Leon, the Last Hope is certainly good. Piankir and Lara are also pretty good in the matchup. So they have Phyrexian blah blah blah, who does have protection from both red and white. Therefore, Fatal Push is going to be good, Collective Brutality is going to be good, and those Lilianas are also not going to be bad. Nimble Obstruction is not bad, but probably okay as just a 1-off. 2-off. Now with 2 more spots to fill. 1k commands. And here maybe it's even a dispel, since they're running Inquisitions and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, something like that. Piankir and Lara is just too powerful to pass upon. We do have a spell snare. We also do have a turn 2 Collective Brutality and Terminate. So, and our opponent's on a mulligan to 1. Alright, cool. Okay. I guess cool first round. But Infect certainly doesn't have an easy game there. So now that we have gotten Nico into playing Magic, he's very excited all the time and always wants to know what the results are at all given points. So I just texted him that we're ahead 1-0. He also played his first 2 games himself in Modern with Burn. Also won those 2, but of course not perfectly played. Alright, so this is a keep again where it's a little removal lights, but now we do have Thoughtseize and can protect ourselves. Okay, so the wreckage, irrelevant, logic knots, and a lightning helix. So if he plays Hallowed Fountain and shocks it, he doesn't have access to lightning helix. Otherwise, he would go for Flooded Strands. Which one's more important to us? Logic Knot's probably still more important, right? We can try to play around Lightning Helix to a certain degree. Nimble Obstruction is going to be good, hopefully. Though we do have Kolaghan's Command to get back our Jace. No, I'm still taking the Lightning now. Yeah, I'm still gonna play out Jace. Although we're playing into a Lightning Helix here. I think by having Kolaghan's Command next turn, before he does have access to a cryptic command, we can still get back the card disadvantage, and I want him to not direct all of his Lightning Helixes at us. Okay. So another Hollowed Fountain there, and he drew an Arithmesa, therefore we do have full knowledge about his hand, and we're going to counter this Arithmesa here to stifle his mana capabilities a little and leave him with additional dead cards in hand. So actually we need both of these. Reason being that Lightning Bolt, one of our few outs against a Teferi or a Jace. Okay, opponent giving it up. Doesn't want to play against our Nimble Obstructionist. Alright, we're taking Dispel and Spell Snare, Count Squall, Fulminator Mage, and then Fatal Push. This one out, these ones out. One Jace out. Thoughtseize is actually somewhat risky here, therefore I'm going to replace that with Collective Brutality, although that makes us a little more inefficient in the way. No. Maybe just a 1-1 split. Thoughtseize is still too good to pass up on here. But we still have to be careful in regards to the burn plan of our opponent, so maybe we're just going really heavy on discard magic, so that Collective Brutality and Thoughtseize help each other out there and balance each other. So now we're at 64 cards. I do want to have all the Nimbles, I do want to have all these cards. Terminates is like one of the first things that I want to cut here, and probably 1 PM Kiran and 1 Cryptic Command. Reason being that although these cards are really good, he's bringing in so much counter magic that it might not be relevant. Though in this case, again, just Sky Control. Maybe we're even taking out the Jace, because that's just gonna die anyway, and remaining with our top end. reasonable 7-card hand. 2 counter spells. Worst thing that can happen to us is a turn 2 Search for Scanta, which we are protecting against here actively. Okay, Dispel Lightning Helix Remand, and just Field of Ruin Ghost Quarter. Okay, so he probably needs to use the Field of Ruin, so I'm gonna leave Lightning Helix in his hand as for now. Just take the Dispel, I think. No, taking the Remand. Yeah. Otherwise, like next turn, if we go for Zero Visions, you could then just choose to do something in response. I kind of want to have both of these Zero Visions anyway. And let's see what he does now. So if he wants to evade the Nimble Obstructionist, he should be using, alright, Ancestral Vision. So he cannot use Field of Ruin here. With our own Field of Ruin, interesting. Electrolyze. So we do have the Nimble for Ancestral Vision, and that might come up at some point. Okay. So you missed the land drop, does have Electrolyze and Lightning Helix in hand. And I didn't want to play into that Electrolyze in particular. But we also do not have the capability here to play Snapcaster Mage, something, and still keep our Counterspell up. Therefore, I'm going to pass the turn here again. Alright, he's going to Electrolyze us. Colonnade, so he has a Lightning Helix and nothing going on. He also doesn't have the ability of playing a Cryptic Command here. Therefore, we could easily take out one of his lands, which we are going to do, of course. And then get another blue source, so we have Logic Knot and Nimble Obstructions up in the same turn. Alright, so a good follow-up for the next turn. Could of course also counter this one, but again, don't necessarily think that's the best thing we can do. All right, interesting. Yeah, that will be a little difficult, but not a lot actually. So of course he wants to get us down to just one counterspell here for that turn, and that is totally fine. So that's the first one. Then there's the second trigger, which we're going to counter. Alright, opponent just gave it up again, calling us a brain genius, which I think is a little redundant, but alright. So, we weren't actually challenged yet, but that can easily change at any given point in time. Decent hand, cannot complain. Starting the game over with Bloodstained Mire to facilitate our bolt in case we're running against something super aggressive and need to fetch for basic red, but also in order to go for steam vents in case that's not the case. So we have turn 2 bolt, terminate, and Jace, and then can curve into enable obstructions here. Opponent's apparently having a toughie here. Took a mulligan to 6. Starts the game off with a basic swamp. That is somewhat awkward. So makes me think maybe John, what else would be starting with a basic swamp here? Could also be a Maru Pyromancer list. But for the first fetch here, I'm just gonna go with a non-basic. What the fuck just happened there? So Jace, let's see what he's throwing against us, if he does have a fail push here. Alright, we're up against Living End. Living End, we're definitely the underdog. Living End is a really tough matchup for us. And he could already combo here if he had a really good... Yeah, he's comboing. Ah, this is unreal. Oh man, this is unreal. Freaking mulligan. Oh man, I hate this so much. Okay, we have Jace. We can kill the horror and then take 8. But there's not much else that we can do without a... we're always getting comboed off on turn 2 by fucking living ends. The stacks just... So we're taking 8 here, then we can block this one with Nimble Obstructionist. Taking 6 next turn, go down to 4. Swamp Walk, of course, is really bad with our swamp. Probably need another red souls here. Okay, double bolt gives us the option of killing one of those. Then we go to 5. And then we have Terminate to kill the other one in the next turn. Okay, we actually drew a Terminate here, which is pretty neat. And it's Harpit. So Nimble Obstructionist is our only chance of getting rid of another cascade effect, and therefore it'd be pretty unfortunate to having to discard that here right now. We do have 3 really good cards, but I would like to take up Jace, use Terminate on Street Wraith. We can combo it off. We can get comboed off easily again. Don't think that's an option here. Do we have to discard Tar Pit? But then we would need to take the hit here of the Street Wraith first. Go to 2 and then end of turn Nimble so that he Terminate, I mean, so that he cannot get a Soul 3 living end past us. But maybe just too late for Nimble here. I know he actually needs a creature as a target for Demonic Dread. And therefore it does make a difference if we terminate here now or if we don't. Because if he does have the instant speed, living end again, then he just has it. Okay, he beasts his own creature. Okay, so tick up here, block the beast, and then have Snapcaster Mage up to bolt and rumble in. Also, he has 4 grows to his disposal right now. Formulator Mage. No, he's hardcasting something. Desert Ceradon. Yeah, we're probably just gonna downtick Terminate here, so we do have Logic Not up. 2 damage isn't too relevant here right now. We still have a long way to go. Alright. And he's sticking up on the ferry, which is fine. So if the last card in his hand is Simian Spirit Guide, which it indeed could be, and then we're just gonna go for CMC 3 here. Not CMC, but delving for 3, so that he cannot pay 2. Alright. Lightning Bolt, not the worst. Could of course also just be a living end in his hand. So we can either terminate it or logic on it. Which one's more important? So terminate gives us the option of cleaning something off down the road, but logic not. If we draw another Snapcaster Mage, then logic not's our only way to counter a cascade spell. But at this point we're probably so low on resources in our graveyard that let's just let this resolve, right? Say he has a living end in hand, we just go for terminate so that we have something in play as well. Alright. Nimble Obstruction is, to be honest, the perfect card here. It stops a lot of the shenanigans of our opponent, and it can also deal the last 3 damage in case that is necessary. And now he has Demonic Dread. Alright. So we're countering the Cascade trigger here. In order for that to not be a thing. And at this point I honestly think that the last card in his hand is a living end. We get 2 Nimble Obstructionists and we have basically 2 bolts. So we might get there. We might actually get there. Okay, another Street Wraith. Not a problem. Are we bolting right now already? Nope. Let's leave him. Under the illusion that he does have a lot of time here. So double bolt, 1 more attack by Snapcaster that isn't blocked, and we actually have lethal on board. It is getting close for our opponent. But so if he does find another living end, and of course he would do that at our turn, in our turn, to for us not be able to play with nimble obstructions here. Oh, now he goes ahead and does it. All right. So now we have to hope that the last card in his hand is not a cycling card because of the Arc Fiend there. But so let's see. All right. So from here on out, we should be able to kill him, right? We do have 2 flyers. Does this thing have reach? No. Did he just kill himself? I think so, right? So we have double bolt. We would even have a creeping top hit. Activation. All right, we got there. Yeah, I think that was a slight misstep by opponent there. If he had done that during our turn, then we wouldn't have been able to utilize the Jace and not been able to attack yet. Though on the other hand, we still had the Tar Pit, so I don't know, could have gone either way, I think. So I think I want to have Collective Brutality as well as Counter Scrolls. They are a little restrictive, but they deal damage to our opponent, which is relevant because we probably find ourselves in a situation where we need to raise. Then Fulminator Mage is definitely going to come in. And then there's the case of Kalitas. Kalitas isn't perfect against everything, but he's playing Arc Fiend of Ifnir, which makes our PNQ and Lar significantly worse. Surgical's gonna come in just because of Living End itself. We need to keep Terminates, we need to keep the Jaces. So this here, then probably P and K are just gonna get thrown out, as well as a couple of copies of this here. Is Colligan's command good enough for this matchup? It doesn't really do a whole lot, right? Most of the time we want our creatures to stay in our graveyards. So it's basically a 2 damage, and we don't want him to discard most of the time as well. So I think, yeah, something like this. Receiving a quadrillion of emails again. All right. god, what is going on? Alright, sorry. So we're probably not gonna get comboed out turn number 2 here, but what we could be getting into is a turn 2 Fulminator Mage, which we definitely need to protect against. Therefore, I'm still gonna go with the Water Grave and into a Thoughtseize here to have a look at his hands. And there we do have the Fulminator Mage indeed. And no, oh yeah, good. Damn it, I just wanted to make it bigger actually, and accidentally then hit the correct card. Alright, we do have enough mana sources, and he needs to have, like, he doesn't have green yet. He would need to draw into a green mana source as well as into a ramp spell. So we could take this turn off in order to go with Tar Pit and Serum Visions. Alright, Counter Scroll is a good card, and Lightning Bolt's never bad, but probably need more utility right now. So we're just gonna go this way. And hope that he doesn't draw into combo and green sauce here. Green sauce and combo. Alright. Yeah. Gotten punished instantly. No. Fulminator Mage, alright. We do have enough lands, so that's not too bad for us. Although, of course, it still sucks. So I wasn't fetching there for two reasons. On the one hand, I didn't want to give him an opportunity to cast Violent Outburst. On the other hand, Polygon's command and make us discard. Alright, so he's a little stuck on mana as well, which is good for us. Gonna Thoughtseize him just to know what is going on, what is up. Alright. Fairy Macabre actually, I think, the most annoying card here for us, although Ricochet Trap is also pretty bad. But we could, of course, go take the Fairy Macabre and next turn go for Thoughtseize. Therefore, if he draws something now that lets him combo off, then he cannot go combo and Ricochet Trap. So I think I'm taking the Fairy Macabre here. Oh no, he actually can, right? With the Simian Spirit Guide, he could. Yeah, under that circumstance, Ricochet Trap is probably the pick. Alright, he just drew a land. Out of those drew two draws, at least one land. Steam Vents. Now, of course, we could go Snapcaster Mage, and he's going to use his Fairy Macabre in order to get rid of all Thoughtseize. But that still basically has the same effect if we force him to use it now. Yeah. Horror of the Broken Lands. Living and Suspended, alright. So he has one Summon Spirit Guide in hand and one Arcfiend of Ifnia, I think, right? Yeah, that's the composition of his hand. So next turn he's probably gonna bring in the Arcfiend, or try to resolve that, and Living End is going to take 3 turns from here on out. Therefore, in order to spare our Logic Knots, we could of course already go with the Snapcaster Mage, take his Arcfiend, but then he would play the Summon Spirit Guide, which also wouldn't be great for us. So we're probably just gonna save our Snapcaster Mage and then go Logic Knot and keep up a Logic Knot for Living End as well. He's just gonna go with a Summon Spirit Guide, right? Yeah, still need to do it. Three, 4. Oh man. Yeah, we need. Oh man. Maybe we should have let that Summon Spirit Guide resolve. There's so many good draws in our deck. Yeah, this time we're gonna let this resolve. Alright. Really happy about the Nimble here. Because of course, Nimble can stifle the ability there, and then we can go Snapcaster and kill the Arcfiend of Ifnia. Okay, first trigger, second trigger, Remains in Exile. We have another Nimble, which is also pretty good. Alright, there's Arcfiend of Ifnia that we of course need to counter. Again, putting one more in than necessary just to play around the Summon Spirit Guide. Oh man, Street Wraith. Street Wraith could potentially raise us, therefore I'm just gonna attack here. If he goes, taps out for Street Wraith next turn, then we are going to deploy the Nimble Obstructionist end of turn. And hope to draw into something. right? That wasn't it. Man, we've drawn a lot of lands here. He even destroyed a couple of our lands. And now he's already at 6. He has to be really careful with Demonic Dread. Kalitas. Okay, there comes a beast within. Sure. So that's what he was thinking about at that point. So the last card in his hand was still... No, actually we didn't know about the last card in his hand. Could have anything. Ceradon, yeah. Just need one counter spell or a terminate here to really get something going. So the thing is that Living End, no matter at what point he plays it right now, okay, so that's 6 damage at least. Is still going to trigger Kalitas. Right. Come on, terminate. Lightning bolts. Is that enough? He can only block 2, right? So he blocks Kalitas and Beast. Takes 4 and dies to lightning bolts, I think. Bam! Did it, guys. Did it. Really tough matchup. Living End is. But we're 6-0. Nice. Really nice. So I'm just receiving all the emails from Airbnb about our stay in Barcelona. Alright. And I just got a couple of information about, frauds who were knocking on doors, saying they were gonna be the electrician. And yeah, so 3-0, 6-0, an absolute clean record since last Friday. I think 10 wins straight right now. And the program has problems matching us again. Not a perfect keep, but still a keep, I imagine. Might need to take off the first turn though. The second turn. Would usually play Tar Pit first turn, but if he does have a really fast hand. Alright, and it was worth it to a certain degree. So we can take the Glistener Elf, and he has a turn 2 Plague Stinger, which then can be caught by a Liliana, maybe. Yeah, we're definitely going after the infect creatures here. Don't really care if it's flying or not. Man, there's a lot of black infect running around. It's really interesting. Alright, yeah, Lightning Bolt by itself is great, but we rather need another red source here. We could have, of course, also taken the Thoughtseize with our Thoughtseize to protect our Liliana, but slowing him down here, right, so he doesn't have another black source. And we find a polluted delta, which is pretty neat. He does have mutagenic growth, therefore Kolaghan's Command isn't enough to kill Noble Hierarch here. But of course we can go with Thoughtseize and then deploy the Jace. Or 2 Plague Stingers. And he also does have a Failed Push, but Failed Push being black, he cannot deploy the Plague Stinger if he goes for a Failed Push. So we're going down to 16, 13. He might also just go with Noble Hierarchs here, right? Since he does have less options in general. If we take the Fail Push, our Jace survives. Jace is super relevant. Could next turn give us another Inquisition, take the other Plague Stinger, unless he finds another black source. So we would already have that in there, yeah. I think I'm gonna go with that line. Oh man. Gotta love Moto. We could of course kill the Noble Hierarch here, only with a Terminate though. But I think it's not yet the time for it. will strand him a little bit of mana, but I'd much rather have him 2 for 1 himself by the end of turn here. Alright, it's still a clean 2 for 1. Therefore, I'm totally fine with that. Well, Liliana, not the best spot for you. Although, I mean, it's also not super bad. We're certainly not gonna just die next turn. And we could force him to attack Liliana. But I think it's still more likely to be better for us to just wait here for one more turn. For authorities. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Nimble, just cast it here. And then he can decide on whether or not he wants to take a Liliana or terminate. I guess the last card in his hand might be a Phyrexian thingy, which is why he's not taking our terminates, because he's waiting for another black source. To play it, and terminate is just dead against that because it has protection from red. I think this means that we should kill Noble Hierarch already, so he doesn't have additional exalted effects. Oh, another Plague Stinger, alright. Yeah, it's just better if we attack with one Refuneral. Then it's a 2-turn clock, 3-turn clock. Yeah, sure. Now there it comes. Yeah, Phyrexian Crusader, now I know the whole name of it. Damn it, 1 turn too late. Okay, so we can block the Phyrexian Crusader with our Creeping Tar Pit, and it does 3 damage a turn. But we can also try to raise it, because we haven't drawn any bolts yet, and also no Snapcaster Mage whatsoever. And just one bolt gets us back on track here. Also, he needs to actually attack for 4 times. No, alright. 5. Yeah, it does have protection from red. So he needs to find a pump spell here, otherwise he just straight up dies. So let's hope he did find one. Perfect. And not a fail push either. Yeah, we can have a look. Let's play it as safe as possible. Yeah, protection from red is really, really bad for us since all of our removal spells are, whoops, basically red based. Also, Izzet Zedicaster, but I think I still want to have Izzet Zedicaster. Fulminator Mage, not the worst. Scorpion God, not the worst. Definitely need Fatal Push. Definitely want to have a Spell Snare. And he's acting a lot on sorcery speed, therefore maybe the Dispel isn't even good enough here. Of course he still has some degree of instant speeds, pump spells, but still. So I definitely want to reduce our clunky counters here. What do we? Probably only one is its Zedicaster, since it's not super good, but still okay. Thoughtseize. One cup, one Jace, one cup, one Logic Knot. One of these, one of these. That's still 61 cards. This is unreal. Okay, so I think Liliana out the Veil is taking. This is really like we have so many good cards in this matchup, and I'm not used to playing against black-green based infect, but only the other one. Therefore, a couple of variables change. Nimble Obstruction is definitely good. Fulminator Mage, of course, good against their man lands, but maybe we have other means of getting rid of those. And this is just. But Lily the Last Hope is also super good. Kolgan's Command, probably, right? Kolgan's Command doesn't hit Phyrexian Crusader, and it is inferior against Mutagenic Growth. So I think, yeah, that might have been the correct pick there. So with this hand, we're most probably gonna be very aggressive in killing stuff. I don't think they are playing Shaped Sanctuary though. I don't believe so. Like the black version in general. We already have double black, we already have double red. Therefore I'm just gonna fetch for basic island here. Probably run into a fail push. Nope. He decided that fail push isn't good enough in the matchup, apparently. Plague Stinger, sure. Don't know what's happening here. What our opponent wants to tell us with a dot. Maybe he has all of his lands in his hand and can't find a fetchable source. Not entirely certain here. So I could have also been more aggressive here and fetched for a Blood Crypt instead and went with the Steam Vents flashback as a red mana source to also have Terminate up. But we're not under dire distress here yet. And I wanted to have Logic Knots. Alright. So apparently is at least one pump spell here. And he's attacking us as well. Sure, not problem, mates. Again, flooding out a little bit, despite having played Serum Visions. Him finding all the lands here is also a problem. Usually it's a pretty good option to go after the Inkmoth Nexuses by the end of turn just to stifle their capability of doing something, doing anything. And here I'm gonna be aggressive. I don't think that we have another turn here and that we need to find solutions. So Fail Push is certainly good. Snapcaster Mage is also pretty nice. Yeah, I think this is a turn where he goes all in. Probably does have a Become Immense in hand. Alright, so is there any advantage for us? We still have... No, I don't think there's an advantage for us to play something here. We do have Snapcaster and Bolt, as well as the Terminate. So by the end of this turn, knowing that we're gonna get a Fail Push, I'm actually gonna try to kill something if we just don't straight up die. That is problematic, to say the least. On the other hand, Liliana can get back this Snapcaster Mage, so I guess we just let this resolve. Without an additional mana source, he should be able to kill us here. Okay. Also has another mana source. So let's see. Next turn we have Liliana and Fatal Push and Snap Fatal Push, right? With this one. No, we don't have another black fetchable source. So we only have Fatal Push, Snap, Bolts. That is still fine though. Okay. Nimble, to be honest, is also not a bad card. We also have Nimble and Snapcaster Mage. Which one's better? Nimble can definitely block something without hesitation and without a problem. Whereas, depending on his draw, I think Lightning Bolt might be straight up worse. So we're just gonna go with a Nimble here. Come on. Oh yeah. Not another discard spell. That would have been really horrific here. Okay. Okay. Great. Well, never mind. Opponent complaining there a little. And yeah, we're just gonna attack. Might also have a failed push in hand. Can't necessarily know. Phyrexian Crusader. And there's a Glistener Elf. Alright. So we thankfully do have PN here and Lar. And followed up by another PNK. Put to the bottom, put to the top. And I'm just gonna single block here. Since he's not playing blue, he does. I don't think he has any way, except for Ranka maybe. Yeah, Ranka would actually be a pretty big blowout. So we want to activate the Fatal Push here. This way we can do that. And still attack with P and Kieran Lar. And next turn we have lethal on board. Alright, that's mutagenic growth. So I think we're going to do this. Because Rancor is his only means of doing something. And then we're gonna go Snapcaster Mage, Fail Push. Because we sacrificed the 1 token there with PNK. Alright. 4-0, 11 wins straight, and 8-0 in games. So I'm taking a quick break here before the last round, just to make sure that I don't fuck it up, you know. Hopefully Open Broadcaster won't be stifled as well. So see you back here for the last round in just a second. Alright guys, welcome back to round number 5. And we're going for the second consecutive 5-0 here. I made myself a tea just to cool the nerves. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not nervous. Just excited. I already forgot against what we played. Something Jess guy, and what was this guy? Oh, that was also infect, right? Yeah, that was also like green infect. Yeah, we do have a pretty good matchup against black-green infect, one has to say. And also, when I first started developing the deck, in its current iteration, infect was still a main player in Modern. So that was pre-bans and also pre-fail push. And therefore, P and Kieran Lara didn't only sound appealing in regards to affinity and edge champion, which of course is a problem, but also as a value engine and as blockers to all those Inkmoth Nexuses and etc. I still don't understand how it's Nexuses and not Nexi, but I'm just gonna leave it there. But 2-0ing Living End, that's pretty good. I like that. All right, let's join. To the last round of 1 here. And we're gonna keep it on the plate. Gonna play 1 Resume roll instead of Creeping Tuppet because of the Lightning Bolt, in case we need that to be a double spell turn next turn. And it already feels like Tron. Don't know why, but it feels like Tron. Oh, good, no Tron. Alright. So we're gonna build, well, let's have a look first at what we're going to draw. Liliana Last Hope, not a bad card. Steamens, we don't need the Steamens, and we honestly also don't really need in the Cryptic Command right now. Then we're going to slow him down a little and pass the turn. Alright. This is actually pretty good. So apparently it doesn't have a 2-drop, and therefore we might be able to catch something here. He's probably playing spell quarters. But he also needs to have something on board. So hopefully he's gonna go. Nope, he's not. Just playing Polluted Delta for the ability to fetch and still have Logic Knot. Next turn we can go Liliana the Last Hope and have a Logic Knot up. And then we can force a play, which is pretty nice. Okay, so if it wasn't obvious up until now, now it's definitely obvious that he does have at least one collected company, and is waiting for us to make a move, which we're going to do now. We're going to do him the favor, because we want to force him to play the company and kill the birds. Alright, so a Spell Queller. Two. That's even better than a company, of course. For us, Druids. Certainly not the best of draws for us. And I would already want to play Nimble Obstructionist here, PN Kiran Lar, in order to be able to shoot down the Devoted Druid at some point. But I think that might be a little too risky. Need to have Logic Knot up. Here I'm going to let that resolve and counter the trigger. Yeah, he's looking for lands. Because our Liliana shoots down the Eternal Witness, and I want to have the Logic Knot for more important targets. So, is Inquisition good enough here? Maybe it's worth it to have around. So I think we're going to Thoughtseize him. Just see what's up, what's going on. Alright, so he basically has the combo in hand already. Retreat to Coral Helm, Duskwatch Recruiter. Reflector Mage is irrelevant to us for the most part. Let's see, so once Retreat resolves, we cannot get rid of it anymore, and then a Knight kills us. So he's playing all the combos here, right? We could take down Liliana and kill the Devoted Druid, but that might not be necessary yet, because we're drawing the Snapcaster Mage naturally next turn, of course. So what he could do is go for a Duskwatch Recruiter. But the Core of Calling, I want to take the Retreat to Coral Helm to a certain degree, and then we do have Inquisition coming up as well. Horde is only as good as this Devoted Druid, which currently taps for 2 mana. Therefore, he can core for 5. So for X equaling 2, which would equal another Duskwatch or the Vizier of Remedies. Alright, let's take the card. Let's not be too greedy about this. Alright, so taps for 2, we have X equaling 2 right now. Probably don't need the Thoughtseize anymore. 1 Logic Knot. 3. 3 should be okay, alright? And now he's playing Duskwatch Recruiter, probably. So he's left with 1 Reflector Mage in hand. And at this point, I think it's even better for us to just take down up on this, because then he can only put -1 -1 counter on that one. And we just go with a Snapcaster Mage, kill the Duskwatch. And we also have Liliana being able to ultimate next turn. So we're certainly not going to lose on board. We are only going to lose to one of their combos, and having this stick around is still pretty annoying, pretty scary. Yeah, there's a knight, which is also pretty annoying. So let's see. If we ultimate Liliana, then next turn, of course we don't have a handle on Devoted Druid, but he doesn't have neither the second combo piece, not a way to search up stuff. Knight of the Reliquary is annoying because he can potentially get a trample with it. We're drawing a Thoughtseize here. So we're probably going to keep up Nimble Obstructionist to counter the Knight trigger that is going to occur. Could of course also get back the Nimble, but I think this is our current win condition here. And we're just waiting for 1 more land to be able to play Pierre out and kill the Devoted Druid at once. So I would assume this one would have gone for a Kessig Wolfram. That's certainly not the best draw here, but this will give us another turn. Because he cannot combo off next turn unless he draws another retreat to Corenhelm, which is super unlikely. Not impossible, but super unlikely. And we definitely have lethal next turn, so he has 1 draw step. and goes up. Alright, and so we want to have Spell Snare, we want to have Fail Push, we definitely want to have Collective Brutality. Is it Zedicaster, Keranos? All of this, and might even want to have a Dispel for the Chords. So I'm not super convinced of Thoughtseize here. I want to reduce our dead top decks as much as possible. Gonna take down one Jace. Nimble Obstructionist isn't actually really good in this matchup. And yeah, I think we could go with this lineup. There's also the question of Fulminator Mage because of the Kessig Wolf run, but if he combos off, then we most probably gonna die anyway in that turn. And he might also have taken some of his combos out. Alright, opponent keeps... I mean, we don't have bad hand, but somewhat slow one. Alright. With him not having a mono dog though, that becomes increasingly good. So I would like to Collective Brutality with this card, but we would need to discard the Lightning Bolt, and that's probably not worth it here. Could also go with Kolaghan's Command, of course. Discard the Kolaghan's Command, because up until that moment, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, good that we did it. Right, so he's bringing in Is It Zedicaster. We took out one Pia and Kieran, but right now he doesn't have access to anything else. So I think I'm just taking the company because Court of Calling requires him to have other creatures in play. Shalai, super annoying, definitely, but maybe we're gonna find a solution up until that moment. Liliana, of course, being one of the better cards against Shalai. Alright, and the good thing here is that we do have two Kalitas. So we can discard one without any problem. He's discarding the Jace that he's never gonna play. And he still doesn't have any playables in hand, I think. Yeah. So these three and one unknown card. Kalitas, of course, is really great with Liliana. Although Shalai prevents us from playing, like utilizing Liliana against his Shalai if he is able to play that out, which he is. Now he plays Shalai. And yeah, that's super annoying. That is indeed super annoying. So he might be climbing back into the game here. Though we do have double bolt. Does he have anything important? This card is its set caster already, right? Yeah, I'm gonna say let's attack first. Nothing's going to happen anyway. So either he blocks it and we can save a bolt, or he doesn't, as he does. And we're gonna go. For a mountain here. Hope that he didn't board dispels as well. Killer shall I. Get a token. And go discard. And at this point, I think our opponent cannot win anymore. Might give up here. Yep. Alright guys, that is it for today. Maybe not for the entire day, but yeah. Another 5-0. We're straight up, I don't know, 12-0 or 13-0 or something. Let's have a look. Game history. Wins from here on out. Yeah, that's 12. So 12 wins in a row. Also haven't dropped a game there. Straight up 2-0s in each round. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with the deck. Cannot complain. Hope you enjoyed it. Despite our opponents conceding pretty early in between. But yeah. Alright, have a good day guys. Have a good weekend and see you in Barcelona or on this stream, on this channel.